Hello, Hero Conference. I'm so excited to see you guys here in person. My name is Cory Henke. I've been running my own ad agency for 5 years, primarily focused on YouTube, but we buy all platforms. And this would be my fourth year speaking at Hero Conference, fifth Hero Conference. And we're gonna jump right in with limited time. I think the only thing that I would say before we start the presentation is there might be some data that could get small. So everybody on this side, if you decide to move over here, I think you might get a little bit of a better experience, and that's totally fine. So let's jump right in. As I mentioned, there's 3 parts to this presentation: creative, analytics, and performance. But here are the 3 most important creative ad elements that I want to walk you through. The first one is ad length. Ad length is by far one of the most important things you test on YouTube. So again, you can have non-skippable, you can have skippable, but the key to YouTube is the fact that there's unlimited ad length in terms of what you can place on YouTube in terms of an ad. The next thing is the story and the intro. The story and the intro are very important because everyone starts the video, not everyone ends it. And so being able to have multiple intros will help you decide which version is the best and which one is gonna have the most impact for whatever your KPI is. And I'll walk you through a case study that shows that. The next thing is the ad type. As YouTube has advanced from just a skippable, you now have non-skippable, ad sequencing, bumper ads. There's a lot of different types of ad types. So when you combine the ad length, the story and the intro, and the ad type, those are the 3 creative variables that I think are most important to the success of your YouTube campaign. And so when we work with advertisers, we really want them to understand a couple of things. The first one is, look, what type of story do you want to portray to your audience? And I think when we're first starting out with advertisers, the business story is most important. Looking face to camera as a CEO, as a business owner, being able to tell your story is extremely, I'd say, advantageous to you as a brand, but most impactful to a user. And then when you look over in the inspiration gallery, that is a place where we find a lot of value for advertisers in terms of ideas and ideating on what they should be creating. Now, when I mentioned ad length, working with a variety of ad lengths are important. If you can see in this case study, you've got a 60, you've got a couple of 15s, you've got a 2-minute 24, you've got a 32, and you've got a 6-second. What can you see first? The fact that YouTube spent all the money on the 60 and the 15, regardless of my 224 having a better view rate, the best CPC, but most importantly, in my opinion, the highest completion percentage. You're telling me that 43% of people completed on the 2-minute and 24 versus the same amount on a minute. I think I definitely want to run this ad at scale. But this is what happens when you test multiple different types of ad links. You get to find out what works best for you and your potential KPIs. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna watch a video. Because again, the second most important thing that I wanted to mention to you was the story and the intro. There's 3 different videos that I'm gonna play after this. There is a family version, a personal version, and a social version. Now, I want everybody in the room, as we watch these 3 videos, to think in their mind, right? Like, which one drove the best cost per install? We're all great marketers and advertisers in here, so find the person next to you, make the bet on which one performed the best, and we're gonna find out on the other side. So 3 different intros: family, personal, and social. Which one drove the best cost per install?
Oh, good one. Careful of the phone. No phone means no Ibotta, which means no cash back on almost everything I buy. Dude, seriously? I've never been a coupon clipper, but it's nice to save because things are always coming up. Like when my 2 BFFs decided to get pregnant at the same time. What am I, a baby shower factory? Luckily, I downloaded the Ibotta app and started getting actual money back. Red or the black? It's date night. Better go with the black. Ooh, ultraviolet diaper cleaning kit. Everyone's always like, Britt, how do you manage? The trick is I'm always saving money now, always. Ibotta makes it so easy for me to get extra cash. All I have to do is unlock rebates in my iPhone, verify my purchases, and the savings show up just like that. Hi, Everly, look at your beautiful mural all over mommy's wall. Little reverent. That's why I'm always checking Ibotta now. Ibotta is the free, super simple money-saving app that gets you cash back on things you buy. Okay guys, I'm stuck. I've been using Ibotta like crazy and I'm getting all this extra cash, not points, real money back on things I buy every day anyway, and it's so easy. Yeah, see the problem now? College fund for Everly? Shoes for me. Don't get me wrong, I'm thrilled I downloaded the Ibotta app. Life changer. But I didn't have this many problems when I didn't have so much extra cash. Seriously, I never would have ordered my BFF a pre-baby shower gift. I swear, everyone is having babies all around me. Red or the black? We're going out tonight. Definitely the black. Ooh, a baby-scented candle. Everyone's always like, Britt, how do you manage? The trick is I'm always saving money now, always. Ibotta makes it so easy for me to get extra cash. I just unlock rebates in my Ibotta app, verify my purchase, and my savings show up just like that. Hi, Everly, look at your beautiful mural all over mommy's wall. Little Rembrandt. That's why I'm always using Ibotta. Ibotta is the free, super simple money-saving app that gets you cash back on things you buy.
Holy.
Oh, spicy? Sip the coconut soda water, honey. Seriously, before we started saving money with Ibotta, we never would have just ordered the poke, bone marrow, and blistered shishito peppers. He's just being dramatic. Okay, that wasn't cheap. But we love to try new restaurants. It makes us feel rich, but we are in debt. Luckily, I downloaded the Ibotta app, and we've been getting real money back on all the other stuff we buy in real life. Which do you like better? We're going to a gluten-free tasting party tonight. Definitely the black. Ooh, vegan fusion Korean tapas. Everyone's always like, Britt, how can you afford to go out? The trick is I'm always saving money now, always. Ibotta makes it so easy for me to get cash. All I have to do is unlock rebates in my Ibotta app, verify my purchase, and my savings show up just like that. Hi, Everly, look at your beautiful mural. There's always something that's gonna eat up your money. That's why I'm always checking Ibotta. Ibotta is the free, super simple money-saving app that gets you cash back on.
Okay. All right. Now with those three, how many with a raise of hands, how many think family drove the best cost per install? Ooh. 2 maybe? Who thinks personal drove the best cost per install? Wow, look at that. What about social? Social. Absolutely amazing. Whole point is, we never really know. I'm gonna walk you guys through this dashboard. As I walk you through it, the first thing I wanna do is kind of give you guys an understanding of it. You have a creative performance comparison at the bottom, which gives you a variety of metrics that I'm sure you're all used to, comparing the different creative. A week-over-week contrast on the top, and a comparison of parent versus non-parent and social for creative. And then the most important variable that we analyzed with this case study was parental status, parent versus non-parent, in terms of the CPI, which is the cost per install. So again, I'll walk you through this bottom dashboard. You can see the biggest impact of social was the conversion rate at 24% and the cost per install at 8.3. Here you'll get a week over week, which we'll walk through. And then again, as I showed, parent versus non-parent, creative comparison, and then the variable below that will be your parent versus non-parent. So, again, I want to really highlight social. So again, I'm going to focus on social there, and then you'll see what happens week to week. You can see that, we were able to scale this from 2,000 a day all the way up to 7,000 by lowering the cost per install, and it was primarily due to the parent versus non-parent. As you can see, when we combine both non-parent and social, you end up with a 35% conversion rate and a $7 cost per install. The next thing I'm going to show you is what happened week to week. When I click week 1, you can see that the costs were the same, cost per installs were the same, even delivery of creative, right? And then you'll see in week 2, this is where things begin to separate. Now it's like, oh wow, look at where social's at in comparison, right? Primarily due to the not a parent applying that targeting. Let's take it into week 3 and see if we can scale this thing. Boom. If the goal is cost per installs, I'm putting all the money to social, but you can see the way that I figured that out was creating 3 variations that were wildly different from each other. Family, personal, and social. Something is going to stand out, when you do that. And again, it's greatest to build the variation in the beginning of the video. So what do you end up with? 55% cost per install decrease from week 1 to week 4, and non-parents plus social gives you that 35% conversion rate. Now, the thing that I want you to think about with this case study is that there's only 4 weeks, right? If you take the next 4 weeks and the next 4 weeks, you have an Android versus iPhone comparison. You have a household income comparison. This can even improve further the more that you layer on and begin to segment. So When we look at that creative comparison, I want to move over to now talking about the creative trends. The biggest one being in the far right, where you're going to see a feed ad for MGM and a one-click right to a video. Like that in-feed to a video is something that I'm watching this year because I think that's going to be very valuable to the advertisers that I work with. The next thing to watch are YouTube Shorts, your YouTube feed engagement, and then YouTube vertical video ads. All three of these, I think, will be super important to YouTube this year as well as in the following years. But which one's most important? In my opinion, YouTube Shorts. You have an influencer here that I heard on Clubhouse, and then I began to follow his tweets because he had no Twitter followers, and now he's got 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, just posting vertical shorts. You gotta think, there's people that build long-form content. Our favorite YouTube people that we watch, they build long-form content, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. This guy's building 1-minute videos and got to 500,000 subscribers. He's got over 1 million now. And so if you think about leveraging your current clients' assets, their vertical assets on YouTube, that's something that should be tested. That's something that's very important. Another thing, staying on shorts for a second, why are they valuable? 15 billion daily average views globally. They're also investing into creators, just like every other platform. The name of the game for Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, is to pay creators because they create great content that keeps us on these platforms. And so again, here's another one. Ad length, 15 to 60 seconds. The other thing, YouTube now has stories to go along with shorts. This is very interesting. And the stories aren't 24 hours, they are 7 days. And so brands can now post stories to their YouTube, and they can also post shorts. But the difference with the shorts is that they stay forever, and your stories are only 7 days. So begin to start building vertical on YouTube. It's one of the things that we're talking with brands with every single week and how to really staff up or support this initiative. And it's primarily what we learned on Reels, or what we learned on Instagram with their push for Reels. YouTube's gonna do the same thing. And I don't think there's anything more valuable than a YouTube subscriber. Somebody that hand raises and says, I'll watch any of your video content, right? And it's gonna come to me, like they're not gonna take it away from me like Instagram kind of did with the reach. So I still think it's an important place to invest socially as well as with ads. The next section we go into is the analytics section. And I kind of wanted you guys to ask this question to me of like, what am I supposed to be looking for when it comes to YouTube? YouTube is complex, and whenever I talk to people about it, it's like, I don't know how to analyze it. I don't know how to, let my boss or my client know that it's important that they invest into it. So here's the way that I think about it. You have the platform and video metrics, impressions, views, clicks, completion rates, right? Kind of the first level of analysis that you do. The next level is GA data. What is the session quality of somebody coming from, YouTube? Next, your conversions, after that. So I'm going to give you a glance into, the Google Analytics UI. So you can see users and sessions, e-commerce conversion rate next to our campaigns. And you can see that I've separated these campaigns by max conversion and cost per view, right? I get a good comparison of user volume and session quality when I do this. I can also bring these Google Analytics metrics inside the Google Ads UI. And what I get next to that is also the earned views. What is an earned view? Somebody who watches your YouTube video, then goes to your channel and watches another video. That is a key move, right? I didn't go to your website. I went to your channel and watched another video. Okay, I'll take it. So another important aspect of the analytics is the bid strategy, and it's only gotten more complex. When you're trying to build a YouTube video, you're stuck with these options. Or not a YouTube campaign. You're stuck with these options: custom video campaign, non-skippable, outstream, drive conversions, and ad sequencing. What you ultimately want to see is that you have cost per view and CPM at the top, CPM, target CPA, maximize conversions, CPV, CPM. Here's the difference between them, in my opinion. This is how I would look at them. If you want reach and impression volume, you would go with a CPM. If you want somebody to stay till 30 seconds, really optimize that, really test long form, then you would go true view, cost per view. And then obviously if you want conversions, you go with conversions. It's just the way that it works today. So this is how we analyze our data. It's just gonna be an image, there will be no video played, but you can see how I've separated things by direct response and branding. Inside of my direct response, I have 2 max conversion campaigns, because I'm testing video action, but I'm also testing target CPA. And then in my branding area, I'm focused on target CPM, efficient reach, and cost per view. The areas that I want you to focus on is CPM. Look at the difference. I can reach almost 5 people for every 1 person I reach in a conversion campaign in a cost per view campaign. Look at the cost per view difference. I can see how many people will make it past 30. A lot more, right? But here's the kicker. Look at how the CPC is the same, but the cost per acquisition is wildly different. And then another thing that we bring in is the cost per user, right? Like, what am I paying to get a user from YouTube to the website, if that's important? How I want you to think about YouTube is that, like, it's less about the user getting to the website and more how they engage with my content on the platform. Oh, well, I can't see that. I can't calculate, how much time they're spending this and that. Yeah, well, there was a time before online advertising where we had to believe in print, radio, and TV. So, we have to think about that, and not always have, a direct connection to the conversion. So there's 3 primary areas of analysis when buying YouTube ads that can help your campaign perform better, and this is what we will begin to analyze. I showed you guys the bid type and how you would look at that, direct response versus branding, but now I'm going to show you one of the most important dashboards and metrics that I think Google gives us, which is the combination report. This combination report puts age, gender, parental status, and household income on the same chart. Being able to slice that data, I think, is so important to your YouTube campaigns because of the scalability of YouTube. When you're dealing with search, there's so many searches in a day. When you're dealing with YouTube, it's really your competition. It's really wide open, and that's why segmenting can happen on YouTube versus something like search or something that's a little bit more limited. The next thing is your placement report, where you're able to see where your ads are running, and then are they running on YouTube, a website, or within an app. So in this dashboard, what I want to show you is an audience comparison at the bottom, where I'm comparing placements, competitors segment, people data and analytics, and then apps. And along the sides, you'll see a gender comparison by CPA, age comparison by CPA, parental status by CPA, household income by CPA, but then also number 6 at the top is a comparison. Now, one's going to stay static, and one's going to change in the next video to show how I can improve the CPA by just optimizing these specific variables. So we're going to walk through this again. I just want everybody to be able to see, where things are. Here's your comparison at the bottom in this chart, and then we'll move up to age. After age, we'll look at gender. And again, we're just comparing CPAs. And what I'm trying to understand, right, is where is my best performing segment? And in the middle here, you'll have just a month-over-month chart looking at CPA. And then again, one is going to change, one is going to stay static as we go through. So the first thing that I do is I try to find what's separating, these different variables. And the first thing is top 10%. I can already get it down to a $34 CPA by doing that. But then I come over to age and I'm like, okay, let me widen it out a little bit, right? And the next thing I do, I go, okay, females are slightly better. And then non-parents, boom. Down to 31, from 42 to 31. And that's how we work with clients to be able to improve the CPA. If I need to improve the CPA, that's one way to do it. But I can also, come down here to the audience level, drop that down, and then give me a bid type comparison to take it even further. Now I'm down to 24. So again, these variables matter, segment, and then help your campaigns perform. But this is one area where you add the gender, age, parental status, household income, and not many platforms are able to give you that amount of data on the same line. The next area is looking at your placements and a placement report. On the bottom, you'll see a placement type, and it'll compare YouTube, mobile app, and website. Same thing on the left, you're comparing type. And then on the right, you're comparing your views by placement, your clicks by placement, and then your conversions by placement. So here again, you'll see the table at the bottom. Again, you get a good comparison of these 3 types. Again, the majority of these impressions were run on YouTube. If you look in the center of the timeline, you can see that in Q4, we tested a little bit of mobile website and mobile app, but based on the CPA, it's just best to put your dollars in YouTube. Might not be the case for other clients. Views and clicks, as well as the most important column, conversions. one of the coolest things I think that you can do, if you can see a massive amount of conversions across placements, is be able to take these placements and compare them. Like, this is one of like the coolest things that I've seen, is that when we open this up as a pivot table, you can see this comparison. And so when we compare these two influencers, you can see that Lewis here has a $53 CPA. He's got 602 conversions. You know, we're looking at a view conversion rate versus a click conversion rate, people who make it past the view, people who actually clicked. But if you go down to Simon Sinek at the bottom, he's got a 74% click conversion rate. 2.6% of people that made it past the view converted. That's somebody I may want to hire as an influencer. I may want to, put in my next ad. So what do you get from analyzing placements and age and gender and bid types and things like that? You find out your best performance and a potential reduction of 37% in your CPA. Like, that's what you get if you can analyze this data. The next thing that you get is placement and keyword targeting. One of the things that we've done recently is taken influencers that we convert on and then just target them as keywords. If you're interested in this influencer, you might be interested in my product. So again, there's a lot of different like consumer research that is built into running ads on YouTube alongside performance. And so from a YouTube standpoint, you get audiences. From a web standpoint, you can custom audience, any sort of, website that converts for you. Same thing with app. I can put in any sort of app that converts with me and build a custom audience off of that. So this gives you targeting, consumer research, and also performance. In this next case study, we'll talk a little bit more about performance, and I'm going to speed up a little bit. So the first thing is you want to take YouTube, especially the bid types, and compare it against the other platforms. In this chart, you're seeing me compared against shopping, search, display, and discovery. And so I can find out where it fits. I know it's not going to beat search or shopping on return on ad spend, but how does it do from a top funnel standpoint, right? Like, where does it fit in my marketing mix? So when you look at compare the CPMs, compare the CPCs, and compare the ROAS, in this case study, I'm really using YouTube as a top funnel to drive better search, to drive, better shopping activity. The next case study we'll walk through is about, more audience structure. And I'll give you an e-commerce example. When we build smaller campaigns, we're really looking at prospecting versus retargeting across different bid types. And when we do that, we're using the audience the way Google wants us to, right? And what we're saying is like, here's a bunch of audiences, Google, you figure it out. That works sometimes, but if you have bigger budgets, you can use something like a target CPA. So when does that come into play? What we like to do is take the audiences and break them out by ad groups. So then we can control the budget. And it's like, how can you control the budget? The budget's at the campaign level. Well, I would just adjust the target CPA to make sure that dollars are flowing to the right campaigns, that I want them to. So I have more of an even delivery. So in this case study, what I want you to see is impressions and clicks, right? That first area, that conversion area, and then I added another area which is going to be earned views. On the left side, you'll see a device comparison, and then a week-over-week analysis. And in the week-over-week, what I want you to see is how we move from just manual cost per view, testing a little bit in month 1, testing again, still majority cost per view, getting a good idea of if that creative is going to work or not, and then moving our best performing creative into maximize conversion, and really, testing that conversion campaign. So again, we're going to focus on the table at the bottom, ad cost to CPC. That is going to be like, your first level. And then your second level is going to be conversion rate, revenue, and return on ad spend, followed by some of your earned metrics. And what we find on a lot of campaigns is exactly what I'm going to show you. But first, again, comparing maximize conversion and cost per view is a real good comparison here, and it really relies on the conversion rate. Google can go find you better converting users in that maximize conversion campaign. I just want you to use that cost per view campaign to start so you learn more about the creative. Find the best performing creative, dump it into maximize conversion. But here's a pretty cool thing that we found, is that if I click on desktop, what are we going to find? Literally the best conversion rate, best return on ad spend, more people convert on the desktop. Makes complete sense. When I move over to mobile, what are we going to find? But what we find is that it's better at the CPC. It's better at the CPM level, right? It has a higher click-through rate. Now, when we go to tablet, what are we going to find? And this was the more interesting find and something that we've seen recently, the better earned view rate. More people on a tablet are willing to go watch another YouTube video than to even go to your website. So build accordingly. You can segment just for tablet, you can segment just for mobile, or more importantly, the device is one of the only tools you have from a YouTube standpoint that allows you to bid adjust. So you can plus 50%, minus 30% based on what performs the best. Desktop for conversions, mobile for reach, tablet for earned views, and then you can bid adjust by device, as I mentioned. Same chart here. I just wanted to give you, again, that same comparison, maximize conversion versus target CPA. Because, again, the other thing that I'm going to show you is an audience comparison. This is when I have more dollars. When I have more dollars, I'm testing maximize conversion, I'm testing target CPA, I'm testing cost per view, and I'm really finding out what works best. In this comparison, what I'm showing you is that multi-audience, I can't figure out because it's in a maximize conversion campaign. It's multi-audience, right? But with a fraction of my dollars, I am testing target CPA. And so you'll see when I click on target CPA and the audiences come up, how we do this comparison. So you can see here I'm testing a variety of audiences. I have some that are custom. I'll begin to start out with more that are like in-market type of audiences. And then, we'll jump into things that are more placements and keywords, two of the most important audiences that I think you take advantage of recently, or upcoming, I'm sorry. You have more of a multi-audience where you can stack audiences together. And then you have, GA audiences that I bring in as well. And so if I were to give you two targeting tactics to leave here with as a best practice, it would be these two, placements and keywords. These are the two that will advance the most, I think, in the next couple of years that you can massage, take advantage of, competitor placements, competitor keywords, category placements, influencer keywords, influencer placements. There's a lot of work that you can do in here, as well as include and exclude at the right times. And so as we recap things, remember, creative is the most important variable that you have. But it can't work as hard without the analytics piece, right? You learn more when you combine these two things together. And then obviously the performance comes when you find the perfect media mix. What's the perfect bid type media mix? CPV versus maximize conversion versus target CPA. What's the media mix between ad type? 5s, 15s, minute 30s. So keep these three things in mind whenever buying, analyzing, or working with YouTube. Thank you guys. I appreciate the time.